Good evening, everybody. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's our vision as the Jacksonville North Washington School District to be the model school district where every learner is valued and empowered to become a successful, contributing member of society. It's our mission to foster a culture of ownership and accountability through partnerships that create multiple pathways for success. Mr. Moore, would you please call the roll?
Carly Stale, Daniel Ray,
Here.
Ava Coleman, Jim Moore here, Ron McDaniel,
Present.
Dana Tony. Here. Okay. Lauren Martin.
Here.
Laura Walker.
Here.
All here but 1, 2.
Very good. Thank you, sir. If you'll join me as we stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We've got a few special presentations this evening. I'll turn it over to Dr. Owa to bring those out.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to ask Dr. Walker to come and she'll introduce our presenters.
Good evening. You all know it's November purple. April kicks off the month of the military child. And so Mr. Lester's not here because he is representing the district at the air base in their parade. They're going through the housing area and they're throwing out candy. So please pray for Miss Hicks and Tisa because Mr. Lester's driving a car that was loaned to us from Crane. So I'm hoping that it makes it back to Crane. We're having a ball in that little school.
You let Mr. Lester drive a car?
Yeah. So they're representing. So we have 3 data presentations, and it's Jacksonville Middle School, ALE, which is our Titan Academy, and ROTC. So we're going to start with Jacksonville Middle School.
Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So glad to be with you all this evening. We're going to just talk about a few pieces of data, looking at some things we've been examining at Jacksonville Middle School. So we'll start. Can you all see that all right? Oh. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to look at 2 different pieces of data. So one of them looking at some academic data and then also some behavioral data, because one of the things about our year here at Jacksonville Middle School, we've been trying to make sure that we're focused on sort of both domains of what we would say are going to help us improve our school environment. And so looking at our NWA MAP data, this is just some summary data from our fall to winter assessment. We looked at our growth. We always want to be able to celebrate scholars who are growing in the right direction. And so what we found is that we have sort of maintained this trend of having a little over about 56% of all of our scholars growing when we look at between fall and winter assessments. And that has some positivity in that we're not seeing a decline there, but what we want to be able to see is obviously that number go much higher. We've had conversations about what does that look like for student motivation? How do we continue to increase as students are at the secondary level, then being able to understand that this is an important assessment for me. But the thing that we really like to celebrate is that the scholars that we are seeing growing are actually meeting or exceeding their growth expectations, which means we're not just growing by a point. They are staying on track with where the trajectory says they should be going as we move between fall and winter, or they're exceeding that. And so we're happy to be able to see that. But as well, when we look at that data, we're trying to look at that teacher by teacher. So trying to be able to say, which teachers are we seeing the growth from? and which teachers are we seeing are having some issues, so we can have some very honest conversations, because honesty helps us be able to know where we need to target our goals for improvement. We've also had some academic shifts to that end. We've had some additional training for our 6th and 7th grade teachers. We're working with University of Central Arkansas for our new Year Up initiative, and so the whole focus between what happens in the instructional arena is to be able to make sure that teachers are approaching their instruction with rigorous activities, and that they're being able to make sure that students are meeting grade level expectations. So that's been one of those big pieces. And just as a whole, trying to make sure we're focusing on the instructional growth of teachers. As a matter of fact, right now, we're specifically focusing on how teachers are assessing the objectives that they set for student learners. So obviously you walk into a classroom, you expect that the teacher's going to tell you what you're going to be learning, you expect that they're going to have activities, but we also want to be making sure that we're giving checkpoints for us to be able to know, is a kid actually learning as they're going throughout the lesson? Can they articulate what their learning is? Can they articulate whether they have actually met the standard for that lesson? And so that's kind of our focus for this semester. Sliding over to behavioral data, just some things to celebrate. We looked at our third quarter data, which is January through March, essentially, from 2023 and 2024. And so we're happy to see that for some of the high priority areas that are concerns of safety, that those things are reducing as we look between 23 and 24 school years. And so overall, we're able to see that we're down almost 100 incidents overall that occurred by this point in the school year. So that's just from August onward. We're also happy to be able to see that for the 3 areas where we've seen major focus areas, obviously anything that's considered a fight, any sort of negative behavior that would be unsafe in that regard, that we're able to see a discipline decrease of about 30 incidents between last year versus this year at the same time, as well as for disruptive behavior, seeing that go down, as well as insubordination. We're seeing that that's an area that we want to continue to focus on. And so while we're certainly not happy to be able to have those numbers, our goal is, can we continue to see the decline? Can we continue to see the progress? And so that's kind of where we want to talk about next steps. So our whole idea is that proximity and presence prevents problems. And so our goal is to be making sure that from an administrative standpoint, as well as from a teacher standpoint, that we're so good at supervision that we make it hard for kids to make poor choices. But we understand that means that we have to make sure we're doing our due diligence to make sure everybody's where they need to be. But outside of that we're also going the extra mile. So we're increasing our supervision during transition. For instance, during a planning period, teachers are assigned additional hot spots where we find that we want to prevent any of those spots where kids may be able to make poor choices. Making sure that we're also increasing our supervision during lunch hours. But outside of that, we understand that it's not just about trying to prevent things from proximity. It's how are we teaching the behaviors that we want to see. Unfortunately, not everybody has the opportunity to come from homes where they have the influence that you all or we may be implementing with our children. And so we're just trying to take ownership of that. So we start every morning with our first 5 conversations, trying to make sure that every student is having the opportunity to have positive interactions with adults and to be reflecting on things like conflict, how it is that they relate to their peers. And so we're just trying to make sure that we do everything we can to assist the growth of students academically and behavior. So that's a little bit about what's going on in JNS right now. Thank you all. Any questions for me? All right.
No questions. Thank you.
Good evening, all. How are you?
Good evening.
Good. So I'm here representing Titan Academy, and you guys know that Titan Academy is our 612 AOE alternative learning. And there's 2 sides to it. It's the behavior side, which is AOE, but we also have the hub side, which is our hybrid side, and this specifically credit recovery. So I want to go over our NWEA scores. Our NWEA middle of the year scores were 33% of our scholars met their RIT score. At the beginning of the year was 25%, so we did make growth. Our scholars have received, our hub scholars have received, they have recovered 229 credits. Yes, and we only have 60 students in there. And so those are credits that have been regained. When we look at our AOE side, we focus on academics, but we also focus on behaviors. We're trying to provide them skills on how to behave in a manner that's appropriate so they can go back to their home school. With that being said, our students have they have a growth chart for behavior. They start off in red, so they go from red, and they have to have 1,000 points to make it from one color to another. So they go from red, green, silver, and gold. At gold, we start a full transition for them. If you look at this, the chart, we could have made it. That's it. Mhm. So when you look at the chart here, we had 41% when I presented in the fall for you guys, we had 41% of our scholars in red and 35% of them in green, 22% in silver. We did not have any of those scholars at that time. You look at it third down week, we have 30% of our scholars are in gold, which means that they are doing a transition of partial or full transition to their home school. We have 5 students that are going to start at the high school tomorrow, full transition. They work the process. So over 70% of our students are making positive growth in their behavior and on their behavior plan. So our why is teachers are teaching grade level essential standards. Teachers are following through with holding students accountable for their social and academic learning. And our teachers are also working with students to identify their growth on their behavior. So every week we have a conversation. Not only do the teachers have a conversation with them, but I have a conversation with them along with Mr. Hatcher, our behavior intervention. We talk about where they are, where they should be, what mistakes they're making, and how they can fix it. That's all. Have any questions for me?
Thank you, Ms. Turner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening, sir.
I'd like to thank members of the board for inviting me here tonight to talk about our fantastic cadets and program. First thing I'd like to bring up is we earned our 5th straight Distinguished Unit Award this year, and I believe we're on our way to our 6th. We also earned 2nd straight Silver Star Community Service Excellence Award, and that's only the top 5% of junior ROTC. So you're talking about 40 units out of 870, 40 full-time units actually earned that. We averaged last year over 42 community service hours as cadet, and the year prior was 47. During the last UCI, of course, we exceeded standards, and that led to us getting a Distinguished Unit with Merit Award. In the past 6 years that Sergeant and I have been together, our cadets have decided that community service is their thing. They love it. They love serving the community. They love spending time together and getting to know each other, and that's why they've excelled at it. And we have over 16,250 community service hours in less than 6 years. And that's an average of 2,700 hours a year. That's approximately 70 have earned their service credit over the past 6 years, or 6 years, and 10 to 15 more will actually should receive that by the end of the year. They're getting really close. And for those that are familiar, and I know that you are, the ESSA score that goes down to hopefully bringing up your ESSA score is one of the small factors, but it is a factor that we're glad to contribute to. Some of the places that we visited or that we have help is Tacoma Club, and I know Dan knows where that, and Tornado Relief, Reach Across America, and several other organizations within Jacksonville. We also have 3,200 plus LDR hours. Now it's a fancy little acronym for Leadership Development Requirement. But these are extracurricular activities, and I'll show you on the next slide exactly what that looks like. But all these hours, almost 20,000 hours, both Sergeant and I had to be a part of outside of the school. That's quite a lot in that few years. Blood drives that we have, this year we'll have our fourth one here in a week. We potentially have saved 1,500 lives, but even almost as important as that, we've given a scholarship out to one of our cadets at the end of the year, at least a $750 scholarship that we've earned for them. 100% of our cadets, and at this point we have 107, 100% have earned the patriotic ribbon. They get that by doing 5 flag details. So 100% have earned the patriotic ribbon. About half have been able to go on to a curriculum and action trip this year, mostly to the base. About 50 cadets so far in the last several years have piloted aircraft with Civil Air Patrol. And you're talking about sticking a 9th grader up in the chair and or in the pilot seat, and as soon as the pilot gets about halfway, they're like, "All right, that's yours, fly the plane." So pretty cool experience for our cadets to be able to do. We also created the first ever cadet leadership course in Arkansas. This happened about for the Air Force. This happened about 3 or 4 years ago. It's been passed off to Cabot because it's gotten so big at this point. And so we're a supporting element, helping Cabot with that. And last year we had one of our cadets that was selected to the flight academy. She went down to Western Florida University and learned how to become a pilot during the summer. She's now in Fayetteville and part of their ROTC program at the University of Arkansas. Talking about our LDRs, these are all the activities and stuff that we can and mostly do. I'd say we hit probably 2/3 of those activities that you see on the board. And I snuck this slide in on you, Dr. Walker. Sorry if you said 3, but I'm trying to slide 50 slides into 4 now. But just to kind of give you a heads up, this is the curriculum that we're responsible for. We can teach any and all of these items. A lot of different STEM courses, a lot of electives, but it probably takes us about 20 years to do so. There's a lot of material that this covers. All right, so Junior OTC just in the past 2 weeks have made some significant changes. They've taken a lot of surveys, and sometimes people wonder, did anything happen with surveys? Well, they're making some big changes as the colonel leaves and is replaced by a new commander. So I can't go over all those changes tonight, but just even this last semester, we've had the opportunity of allowing 9th graders to take a look at Junior OTC by coming in and just wearing a polo as their uniform, not being in the beautiful blue that I'm in today. So some people are a little leery about that. My best guess was that it was going to be 90% are going to say I'm wearing the polo. It was in fact the opposite. 95% said they wanted to be in the uniform, which is pretty remarkable, especially given the peer pressure they face day in and day out. Some of the needs that we have, as you saw those activities that we have, from flight simulators to drones to robots from the LDR page, we really could use some community and base involvement to help us with that. Sergeant and I, we can do a little bit of most everything, but we're a jack of all trades and master of none. So we really could use a little bit extra support for those organizations that can help us in those types of things. We have funding for cadet leadership course this summer. I was bold and put 15 people's names down. I'm hoping to be able to take. We have some just tremendous 9th and 10th graders that are in the program, and I would like for them to have that opportunity, but that comes at a cost. Right now, due to continuing resolution that took a while to get passed, but funding with Junior OTC, we're hoping that we can get this down to 200 apiece. But I'd like to get 10 to 15 people in that week-long school this summer. We thought we had a sponsor last year for a U.S. flag, and we're not talking about a small one. We're talking about one that we parade out on the football field for football games, soccer games, any of those kind of events, and probably take about 20 to 25 cadets to hold it. But this is something that we would like to do: put some handles on around the flag, and still do a color guard in front of them. And I think that would be a pretty remarkable thing for our cadets to be a part of. As you can see, our schedule, like most of yours, is pretty full over the next few weeks. But what I would like to really get into, I think I kind of skipped over one thing that I wanted to hit. We have, I talked about the uniforms, but I missed the contracts. This past year, they decided to go back in time to where they have offered to pay half of the instructor contracts up to 12 months. So for a while it was 12 months, went down to 11 and down to 10. That's where we've been at. Now they've offered to pick up half of our contract. Why is that important? Junior ROTC is making these changes because they see what this is doing to the instructors. The added hours every night, weekends, and you're talking about actually working a double contract to be in this position. So they, and there's also a large amount of openings throughout the U.S. So there's more openings than they can fill. So they're changing some of their rules. They actually start, Dr. Ola and Ms. Biggs should have gotten an email this morning from the Air Force where they're talking about changing our minimum instructor pay as well. One thing I would like for the board to take a look at is our stipend. For the last 6 years since we've been here, the stipend hasn't moved, but the amount of work and amount of success has increased. So it's something I would like the board to take a look at. All right, so what can be accomplished in 4 years in junior ROTC? All right, I've brought a couple of my cadets today with me. Let's see who's out here. All right, back there. All right, we have Samuel, stand up. And Claire, stand up. All right, this is 2/3 of who I was going to recognize tonight. But what I want to tell you about this group is they go above and beyond. Samuel Palmer has 470 community service hours in his less than 4 years in this program, and it's truly remarkable. John, who's not here, is at 410, and Clara is sitting at about 310. Okay, I've got to see Samuel preach. John, who's not here, I've seen, he just got his Eagle, went through his Eagle Scout and got approved at a ceremony last week. And Clara is working 2 jobs and supporting herself as a 17-year-old while going to sleep to school. All three of, I know y'all are going to sleep with me. All 3 of my cadets that I wanted to bring up, they're all remarkable. They're commanders, they're former commanders, and they're people. They're 3 cadets that need to be lauded for what they've done. So. All right, and finally, I know you're ready for that. One of the biggest challenges we have is the replacement for the GOAT, Sergeant Williams. He has, as we said a long time ago together, that we're like brothers from another mother. We worked together for these 6 years, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it without him. But eventually, we all have to look at retirement and kind of go off and do some other things in the sunset. So I'd like to recognize Sergeant Williams. Stand up. All right, that's all I have. Thank you. Have any questions for me?
I just want to say thank you, Captain Warren, Sergeant Williams. Just personally, I don't know how many times I've seen y'all out at whatever event with cadets, and the impact you guys make on their lives and representing this school district, the way the cadets represent the school district in our communities. I mean, we can't give you enough thanks. So I appreciate what y'all do. It's one of my favorite things about this school district is our ROTC program. So I appreciate y'all more than you know, and we don't get to express that enough. So, but some of those items you mentioned, and was the flag like something we're trying to raise money for, or is that?
That's something that if there's somebody else in the community that'd like to help
Done.
part of that.
Done. just let me know.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all for your
Thank
time.
y'all.
Do you have other ROTC cadets here?
I do.
Have them stand up, please.
Stand up.
Anytime we see them, we need to recognize them.
All right.
Very important.
And that is Camden, Madeline, we got Logan, and we got Milo back there. They're fantastic. And as I was telling you about our sophomore class, it is remarkable. 3 of those 4 are sophomores right there. Madeline already has probably 140 or 150 community service hours, and the other ones aren't far behind. So it's truly remarkable. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, three real supportive parents.
All right. Well, thank y'all all for the presentations. Very much appreciated. Next item I've got on the agenda is our legal update. I don't see Mr. Richardson here with us this evening, so everything's good legally? Good. Facilities update. I do see some facilities guys here. Good evening.
Good to see y'all again. I had to play hooky for a few months.
And welcome back.
Yeah.
We do have some pretty good news, though. We're in pretty good shape on both projects. The Biomed and the Merle Taylor ones are two big ones. If y'all seen the pictures, both projects are in pretty good shape, inside, outside. We got all of our units are in place now on both projects. Getting ready for pushing for all of our final finishes. We're working through full polishing on both projects. Our epoxy and the bathroom settings are all in place. Getting ready to put in our doors on both projects. Coat petitions in both projects, all that's coming up. Biometer, we're a little bit behind on our site concrete. We got a big pour coming up Friday, at about 400 or 500 yards on the bus loop. Pushing pretty hard to get a site concrete caught back up. Wastewater treatment plant coming in the end of May. Don't have an exact date yet, but that's still in pretty good shape. Merle Taylor, they got all the drawings from WR, got a good plan in place to get that water connection and all that tied in as far as I know they're in good shape there. Any questions on those 2 schools, any concerns?
Looking good.
Moving forward, be there on time. Yeah, right now, it look like we'll be on schedule. We still got to coordinate with the school, talk about all this tomorrow morning on the getting furniture lined up and coordinating all that effort and working through punch lists and et cetera. The medical demo, we got some washouts. We'll be out there Thursday, next Thursday. Yeah, this Thursday. We can touch some of those up, probably do some more planning and continue to monitor that. And the legacy walk is supposed to start on the 8th. I guess the weather isn't in, so I don't know if it'll start or not. We'll see what happens there. But they are scheduled to be out there starting Monday to do some concrete work and start on that block. The monuments, that is all approved, so we'll have those building plaques all good to go for all the buildings. Any questions from me?
No questions. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you.
Good evening.
You the same. Mr. Russ, you got anything to report? Any questions for Russ and WER? We thank you for coming out and saying hello.
Thank you.
Y'all have safe travels.
And board members, if I can add on to the facilities report, you heard Roger mention the plaques for the buildings. One of the things we went back to do, I didn't ask permission, so I'm going to ask forgiveness after, but we went back and replaced all the building plaques at the front of the schools with all of the board members who were in place during that time and the superintendents that were there at that time. So historically, we felt that it was important that all the work that our board members put into place, that they should be given credit and recognition for those new buildings. And so as we finish the new buildings, we'll continue that process of making sure we have that plaque with all the board members' information on there. So just wanted you all to know exactly what he was talking about. So I'm asking for forgiveness right now. Thank you.
Okay, so that takes us to district reports.
So just the superintendent's report, we do not have a PPC report. We will continue the summative assessment, the state assessments this month. We started earlier and in March. We do have a new test, and so we're expecting hopefully great results. But because this is the first year, we will receive our results later into the fall months because of the norming process. I wanted to give kudos to our curriculum team and our schools for a successful STEM Fest last week. We had a K-12 STEM Fest that was hosted at Jacksonville Middle School. It was well attended. The students, parents, and our staff seemed to really enjoy themselves. Clint ran out of food, so he made a note that we'll need more food next time. But just a great engagement, parent engagement, student engagement activity with our staff. Reminder that November 8th is the solar eclipse day, so we will be out of school in district offices. The entire district will be closed on that day. But in order to utilize this experience as an instructional experience, all 4 districts have partnered together for a solar eclipse engagement opportunity. It will be held this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Hall of Industry at the fairgrounds. So all of our schools will have a booth, and then community members and other schools will be able to attend that and to learn more about the solar eclipse. The last thing is April 23rd is our employee recognition and retirement ceremony. All of you have invitations at your place, but we're going to use that time. It will be hosted at the community center, but we'll use that time to honor our licensed and classified staff members of the year, but also recognize those who are retiring. So that concludes my report.
Any questions for Dr. Ola? Any PPC reports?
No, sir.
All right. Next item we've got is the consent agenda. We've got the minutes from the March 4th regular meeting, the March 12th special school board meeting, the assistant superintendent's reports, and then also the financial report. Is there anything that needs to be pulled off for discussion? If not, I entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Second. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously as well. All right, number 6, FY25 staff performance bonus proposal.
Yes, in accordance to the Lawrence Act, Act 237, the administration has developed a staff performance bonus proposal that is linked to the state summative assessment performance indicators. When we discussed my contract, there was also a discussion that we felt that staff, if we achieve these goals as it pertains to our state summative assessment, that all staff should be given the performance bonus as well. And so before you is the actual proposal. Both of our PPC groups have reviewed it and have given their approval of the proposal, but you will see it outlines the high school graduation rate. And all of these things, indicators, if achieved, will also increase our grade level, our school ratings as it pertains to our schools and the district as well. And so you have the high school graduation rate, performance proposal goal, and then also the school level achievement for each C, D, or F school in the district, raising it up a grade level, and then the overall student achievement goals for an increase by 5%. So that's the proposal before you. We recommend approval of the staff bonus proposal starting the FY25 school year, which is next year, and years to come after that as it pertains to those incremental goals.
All right. Any questions? We've got a recommendation. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
A motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right. Recommend awarding the 24-cent trailer bid to DK Enterprises.
So one of the many positives about having Mr. Clint Walker as our Director of Child Nutrition, is that we are always in the surplus in the Black and our Child Nutrition Fund. And when that happens, the double-edged sword is that we still get a letter from the state saying that we need to spend money and spend money quickly. And so one of the things that he's proposing is to purchase this food trailer, which would be a food truck that we could take around throughout the community. So as we serve summer meals, as we do things for schools who opt for different food options during lunch or breakfast, we would have this food trailer in the district. And so the proposal is to approve this out of Fund 8,000. So not only are we meeting the expectation from the State Department, but also we're able to serve our students and families and staff members better.
Cool. All right, we got a recommendation. Do I hear a motion? Motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Legal transfer requests.
Yes, we have two for this month. The first one is a request a parent would like to legally transfer their scholar from Cabot School District into the Jacksonville North Pulaski School District. And then request number two is to transfer their scholar from Jacksonville North Pulaski School District into the Cabot School District. The recommendation is to approve these two legal transfer requests.
All right.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second on the legal transfers to approve. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Do you have a question about the agenda, Mr. Thomas? I think I checked them all. The AI policy. You know what? That's not on my printed form, but it is on the digital one, isn't it? Thank you, Ms. Tommy. Let's see here. It's not on my digital copy either. It's 40. It's in our packets, but it's not on the agenda. I remember seeing that. Do we have a, I mean, we talked about it last month about coming up with a policy.
And this was just the draft and first reading.
This is the first reading, so we don't really vote on it tonight, is that right?
If you have the option, if you want to vote on it tonight or just go to a second reading. And so tonight's just first reading.
I haven't really reviewed it. Whatever you want to do. Questions about it? That'll be on next month's agenda as well. Okay. We'll entertain it for action next month. All right, next item we have is the Centennial Road Ballpark offer considerations. If you'll remember at the last month's meeting, we decided to, we received an offer on the 6 acres of land off Centennial Road. That was the old North Pulaski ball fields. And we had one offer in hand, and we decided to put that on the, list it on the open market and to see what that drew. We did list it for $10,000 an acre. It's 6.09 acres. I did reach out to United Title and ask them to do a preliminary title search just to make sure there was not any deed restrictions in there to see how we came about this land. That land was actually gifted to Pulaski County Special School District in 1928. And there were no restrictions in that deed. So it's been with the school district for 96 years. And we didn't even know we had it until probably a year and a half ago, 2 years, when somebody brought that to attention. So it's just kind of grown up out there. It's in disrepair. We received the first offer was for $35,000, and that's what decided to brought that to our attention. We put it on the market. I received 4 additional offers. One of those withdrew their offer, and what I'll do is I'll just go over each offer really quick, and we can decide. One of the offers came in this afternoon. It was via text, so I don't have it in writing or any signatures yet, but I've been assured that that he would reduce it to writing, and it's one deal. So let me go over these in order. If you'll bear with me. And feel free to ask any questions along the way. First offer was from Amanda Harrell and Ricky Harrell for $35,000. And there were no closing costs or anything requested in there. The second offer we received was from Real Estate Solutions Today LLC. It was $60,000 for that offer. They are requesting their buyer agency fees to be paid out of those costs, which is 2%. So seller to pay 2% buyer's commission at the time of closing. So that would be an extra cost to the district. Then I had another offer that was for $62,220. That was withdrawn, so that offer is not being considered. I had another offer for $63,000 cash. I do have a letter of approval from the bank with proof of funds, and this one would be a 2-week closing, no closing costs, no commissions. And this person contacted me directly. I've got that in the contract, but there's no buyer agency fees, no listing fees. It is the D&G Family Investments LLC. Mr. Tim Fraley is the signature on that. And then I also have the final offer that came in this afternoon, $10,300 per acre for 6.09 acres. That works out to $62,727. That is cash as well, and he assured me he had proof of funds if we needed it. So we have 4 offers. My suggestion is to pick an offer, whichever offer we choose, to accept that or counter it, and then whichever offer is second best, to seek them as a backup offer. And then we could do the third and the fourth if that's how you wanted to do it. Any questions for me? I'm going to abstain from this vote.
So the last offer was, no contingencies, no fees, no anything.
No, I haven't reduced it to writing, but my understanding it was just cash, pretty much. And that's the offer we have in hand from D&G Family Investments is $63,000 cash, no concessions either. They're very close. Yes.
Make a motion to approve the sale for $63,000 cash to the Family Investment LLC.
Second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second to accept the offer from D&G Family Investments LLC for $63,000. Are there any questions or discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? I abstain. All right, so that passes 5-0. And if it's okay with y'all, or I don't know if we need a motion for this, but I'll check with the second offer to see if they would like to enter as a backup.
Which is that number 2, buyer agency fees?
No, that's the one that basically contacted me this afternoon and would be cash with no fees or anything like that. The third offer would be the $60,000 one. That'd be the third place.
Okay, so you're talking about the $62,720 cash?
Yes, sir. 727.
727.
Okay.
Okay.
10,300 an acre.
You want me to motion on that?
Yes, sir.
Make a motion, secondary offer of $62,727 cash for the property Centennial Road Ballpark.
Second.
All right, got a motion to seek as a backup offer the second offer there at $62,027 and a second. Any questions? All those in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? I abstain. And that passes as well. And that would only go into effect if the first offer was to terminate and not close. So I want to thank United Title for their diligent research, helping us figure all that out. Also thank Bond Engineering for doing a survey for us. We did do a survey to make sure we knew what we had, and we'll hopefully get the thing closed here in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Good. Bonuses? We'll talk to him about that. All right, personnel. Next item on our agenda is personnel classified contract renewals.
Yes, board, before you, you have a list, 3 actual listings, personnel listing, 2024-25 classified staff renewals, and any rollover license renewals that may have been left over from last month. But those are presented to you for approval.
All right, we've got a motion, or excuse me, I've got a recommendation from Dr. Owa about the personnel report. Do I hear a motion? Motion, is there a second? Motion and a second. Any questions? And I should say, I guess if there's any discussion, we need to go into the executive session. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, my understanding is we do not have any student disciplinary actions or staff hearings or anything like that, employee hearings.
No, sir.
Next item is adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
No, it's not.